Welcome everyone to SNVLIFE, where we are relaunching and focusing on different rappers, singers, and other musicians within our culture that we feel have amazing potential. This interview is sponsored by Sounds, that's SNOUNDS, where you can create your own personalized record label in a matter of minutes by connecting with other musicians and pairing them with producers, songwriters, and much more. My name is Chelsea Dunlop, and today we have rapper and singer B.MORGAN in the house. Tell the audience who you are.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Straight from the Bronx, New York. NYC in the building, and singer songwriter / rapper when I feel like it. But yeah, we're here. You know what I mean?
How are you doing today?
I'm well. Yourself?
Good. Happy to be alive. You know.
Hey, listen, man. With everything that's going on, those are not far-fetched words. You know.
That's what I'm saying. So when did you know that you wanted to be a singer-artist?
Honestly, I believe I always had it in me. I think the thing was that I just wasn't sure of exactly how to go about it or how to, you know what I mean, harvest it and, you know, grow within the talent. But I believe I always did. I was doing reggae before. I was rapping hard body before. I was doing reggae, like banging on my chest and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, I guess, you know, the singing came somewhere where it just kind of like smooths and soothes everything out for me, you know what I mean?
Nice, yeah. I love to sing as well. What's your favorite part about creating music?
Just the whole overall process of just being in the studio and being able, because, you know, when you're outside of the studio, unless like myself, you have like a little home setup or something, right? Usually you're sitting down writing, or you're jotting down in your phone or whatever. The thing about the studio is the process is, you know, you're chilling. The booth is just open, the mic is open, you know, you can just do everything right then and there. You
can just go in and start.
Exactly, you know what I mean? And chop what you need to chop. Oh, this sounds good. Nah, that's on. I'll take this out. And then, you know, the overall togetherness of it once you're finished is like the beauty of it, because it's like, I just did that? Like, wow.
Right, it's amazing what you can produce. And then it's like, oh my God, did I do that?
Right, you know what I mean? It's still like a disbelief, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, let's get into the nitty gritty. Do you think R&B is dead?
Nah, I just think people aren't looking, or you know, or their ears isn't kind of like prepped anymore, because you're being fed so much of the, you know, like, you know, a lot of the drill, the hardcoreness, and, you know, the aggressiveness. I feel like no one has actually, especially now. You know, everybody should be looking at love. You know what I'm saying? We should be looking at, you know what I mean, like the sweet side of things, because everything is so uproar and rough right now. You know what I mean?
And aggressive.
You know what I mean. But now R&B, I don't think it could ever be dead, because of the fact that what happened when you have the downers? You know, to life. You know, everything in life is a positive and a negative. You have an upper, you have a downer. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone wants to just consistently be up. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a time where you want to kind of like deliver emotions, and, you know, so yeah.
What would you like to see change in the R&B world?
Just more singing, actually. You know what I mean? More singing, more harmonies, you know, background vocals, and, you know, just more sweetness. You know what I mean? You know, kind of like get people to be, you know, get back into just being in love and feeling love, and, you know, it's all right to show your emotional side of you, you know what I mean, and you know, those kind of things, you know what I mean. That's actually what I want to see R&B get back to, because remember when you used to put on a Jody C or whoever, you know, man, remember how you used to feel, you know what I mean, and, you know, whether it's like an older record or, you know, you just remember how that, you know, that feeling that you got, you know, that mushiness, and you're like, oh, whatever.
yeah, everything was shiny, I mean? Like.
Yeah, you feel me, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. When I think of R&B, I think Mary J. I think Maxwell, because he's very soulful. I think he's like, I love his voice. Who is your favorite R&B singer?
I like them. I love the Maxwells. D'Angelo, I love the Ushers, man. So I try not to like box myself into kind of stick with like just one particular kind, because I like to be diverse in a way, you know what I mean? So I like to try to like, you know, spread out and just listen to different things. So, you know, I even go as far as like, you know, I even go as far as Peebo Bryson, you know, Otis Redding, You know, the Marvin Gayes, the Al Greens, you know, Jaheim, Donald Jones. Man, listen. John Legend, like, we could go on there. You know?
Yeah, man, the classics, they really get you. And it never gets old. And that's why you see samples of these, you know, these classics in modern music, but people don't catch it. People don't even realize what it's from. Because they don't take the time to go back and listen to the people who pioneered it.
It's like homework, you know what I mean? You studying your history, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of these hits today were basically built off of those records, you know what I mean? Those records so far back, you know what I mean? And people
music
are swearing,
is so recycled now.
Very much so, you know what I mean? Very much so.
Yeah. I know this is like a hard question, but who would you rather? Luther Vandross or Whitney Houston?
Woo!
I know.
Oh, Luther and Whitney. Oh man, man, Whitney's a bad girl, man. Luther is also a bad guy.
Yo.
You know. All right, so I would say based off of originality, I would go with Whitney. Right, off of originality, because you know Luther built his career off of pretty much doing over, you know, do-over records and stuff like that.
Right.
And the guy owned all the records as if it were, you know, as if it was his. So I would go with Whitney for the originality. But man, Luther's a bad boy, man. You gotta understand when Luther
and he hits you right here.
Yeah, like, that flat foot singing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not that right there is where it was what we're missing as well. We don't have much of the flatness. You know what I'm saying?
Right. When we entered out of Motown, you know, you had this section of like, there also, you know, every generation recycles the music that came before it.
Okay, right.
But it's we somehow lost it, and it became so recycled that we don't even recognize it anymore.
Exactly. They don't blended it up so much.
Blended it up so much. Talking about blending, people say, and I don't believe this, but people say Justin Bieber is the new king of R&B. What's your take on that?
Nah. I love the kid. Don't get me wrong. I love the kid. You know what I mean?
He's got vocals, and he's talented.
Yeah, he has definitely some pretty dope records. His albums are pretty, you know. But you got to think though, he's a protege of a dope individual already. Usher.
Right.
You're not gonna go too far off left. You know what I mean with that. So but King of R, that's you know, listen, that's a lot to reach for. That's a far-fetched title, man. You have to be, you know.
Yeah,
but
I don't agree with the statement myself. I definitely don't. But I mean, he's a talented kid, you know. Like, I mean, he's a grown man now, you know. But you know,
right? I guess everyone has everyone is entitled, right, to feel how they feel, right?
Right.
But you got to prove that.
Yeah.
You got to prove that.
Yeah, I agree. Who or what do you think inspires your music and your music style?
So I feel like just everyday life. So I like to put myself, you know, I have friends that go through, you know, relationships, situations or different things, or just individual, like, you know, I have like 2 or 3 records where I'm just uplifting women. So I just kind of like pay attention to life as it goes on, you know what I mean? And just pay attention to the reality of things. And sometimes it's not even about me. And I feel like that's what embodies a good writer at the same time, because most people can write off of their experience, and then you have people that can't write off of their experience. You know, they're brilliant in writing for someone else, but they can't write for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And you have people that balances the both. My thing is, you know, what I can be able to like reflect on someone else's life and put that into story mode. It's actually, you know, I actually feel good, because sometime down the line I eventually end up going through that situation, and it's like, wow, I wrote this song like 2 years ago. Like, look at this shit. You know? You know what I mean? So I feel like I be setting myself up sometime in a way. But yeah, I feel like that's like really the inspiration from it right there. Just everyday reality in life and stuff like that.
Nice. What's your favorite part about the process? Wait, one second. It looks like we lost your video due to internet quality issues. Is your Wi-Fi still okay?
It says it's booming up here.
You know, it's 2020. Why aren't we? 2020. It's 2021, actually. Wow, damn. Right. Why aren't we in the like? Why are we having these issues?
Come on, man. You know what it is. They just want us to continue spending money. It's funny because my Wi-Fi over here is like maxed, and I'm wondering like, why is this? You know.
I'm right next to my modem, so this is ridiculous. But let's keep
They
going
just-
because we'll have the audio. So, if anything, so what's your favorite part about the process?
Just being able to, you know, the layers of the music and being able to dissect stuff. So, you know, when you're hearing things, you know, when you're hearing a certain, like, you're listening to the record and you're like, yeah, I want to move this. Sometimes you can move a whole bridge and replace it, and it's totally something different. Those are the things that keep me, you know what I mean? Like, the process of those things are like, yeah, because, you know, you did that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, yeah, I didn't think this was going to sound any better. Because sometimes you're fighting against the will of it. Like, nah, but I hear this right here. You know what I mean? And it's like, nah, trust me. I'm telling you, there's another piece of the puzzle that can go there. That one doesn't fit. And then when you do it, it's like, oh, well, there we go.
Like, music is such a interesting thing because once you begin a project, it like becomes its own beast. So you think like, oh, I really want this lyric or I really want this section of the song. But once you've crafted it, it's like, you know what? It actually doesn't fit anymore. And it's not the vibe.
See,
it becomes its own beast.
It becomes its own beast. There we go.
Music is such a beautiful thing because it's so dynamic.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just gonna say that. It's a beautiful thing, man. I'm telling you. Especially if you know, if you're in tune with it, in the right way, yeah, it's definitely an amazing thing.
And it's so dynamic because you can be in tune, but you may not be a good singer. But then you'll find your niche where it's like, oh, but I can actually arrange this. I can compose a song beautifully. I just may not be able to sing. But the thing about your voice is that you can train your voice to get better. You just have to be comfortable. It's all about your confidence in singing and wanting to do it.
It's funny that you say that, right? Because everyone thinks that belting, you may not be able to sing like a Beyonce, a Mariah Carey, the belting of it. Everyone thinks that you have to be and that means singing. No, it's necessarily not. A Marion, for example, one of the dopest flat-foot singers I've ever came across. I mean, the guy notes are just down and they're all subtle. You know what I'm saying? It's like people like that. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to. And just like you said, that's just like vocal training. That's you getting up every morning, every day, or whenever the time you have. You're walking, taking, inhaling, exhaling breaths. You know what I'm saying? Just building up your exactly that gut. You know what I mean? That diaphragm and making that stronger. And there you go. You can hold a note. Long as you can hold a note and say, hey, there you go, you can sing.
I think people forget that it's a muscle. So you have to work the muscle to get it stronger. So yeah, go sing out loud in your car, sing in the shower, sing where you can, because eventually you're going to be able to hold that note,
It's not like rap. If you can't rap, you can't rap.
You can, no, rap is a whole nother thing.
If you can't rap, you can't rap.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's like poetry, not everyone's good at poetry.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Do you have any new songs or projects that you're working on, or you want to, spread something?
We have this new song that I just released the 20th. Straight Jacket, produced by my producer, Obanger. So we have the video that we just shot. We just wrapped up the video probably like 2 weeks ago, and it's funny. Nice. Before I got on the interview, I was just here going over like the video components, just picking out proper color corrections, and what shots we wanted here, there, and so on and so forth. So that should be coming real soon. I don't want to give you guys a date yet. You know what I mean? But we're we're moving. But yeah, that's what we're working on right now. Straight Jacket. That's the name of the song. Streaming everywhere. Yep.
Awesome. I know 2020 was like a bust of a year, but a lot of people did have it. Took a moment, but everyone found the time to kind of think on their own life, and some people found their calling. Some people realized that what they were doing was not what they wanted to, so they had time to kind of switch it up. Has your dreams or aspirations changed during the pandemic, or are they
not
still the same?
Maybe just the vision of things. There's pretty much still the same, but maybe just the vision kind of changed because, you were able to realize a few things when it came to this pandemic. You realize, like, with the shows and everything that stopped, how it stopped a lot of artists in their tracks.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? To the point where now they're trying to, like, Yeah, so to speak. What I guess robbing like other up and coming artists. You know what I mean? Because now you guys are putting out your services for the wrong reason. Like I feel like they weren't doing this before. You get what I'm saying? So it's like now that you guys are kind of parked, and for those that didn't make smart investments and stuff like that, you have a problem on your hand because you're not getting that. You're doing 3-4 shows a night. Think about it. You're getting that 80,000, 60,000 every night.
Yeah.
For 4 times a night, you times that's money, and then you're doing that consistently. So for a month, man, you're through the roof. But I guess no one ever thought that we would be here. No concerts, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it kind of just taught me to just basically be able to like, even with the online, like what Beyonce did. She signed so many contracts for doing the remote concerts.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why wasn't anyone, with all the money you guys were generating and doing, why anyone never thought of this? You know what I'm saying? Before, as artists, that, you know what I mean? Why didn't you guys think of this? That this could have been beneficial for you guys in the long run, or anything of just that nature. So it kind of like taught me those things. The vision of that right there is kind of different now. So I'm not able to harvest that a little more. Being able to be
flexible with unforeseen circumstances, and be able to also still do your music, still play live in some regard, whether it's digital.
Exactly.
Be able to just send out releases, so at least you're staying active and in the line of sight. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy that how everything kind of switched, and now you see another side of how you can do business.
Yeah. I bet you a lot of people didn't know that they would be inking multi-million-dollar deals over the internet.
Right, from the comfort of your home.
You know what I'm saying? You're sitting right in your home doing, whatever it is that you're doing, and you are inking deals. Like, whoa, that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like you said, we could have been actually doing this, but
we could have been doing it. But I think sometimes something needs to happen to kind of bubble over, and then be like, oh snap, like we need to be changing the way we look at things. Which I think goes for all things, even outside of music. We should have been doing things beforehand, There you go. It's a rounded thing. No, it is. You know what I mean? It's a rounded. Something should be applied, I feel like, to life itself. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you were a CEO of a music company or a platform such as Tidal, iTunes, Spotify, etc., what feature would you have that would help unsigned musicians?
A feature that would directly, so I would like to restore the actual A&R, division. You know what I mean? Because there isn't much of that anymore. You know what I mean? Right. The actual artist development. So a feature that I would like to, I would implement, you know what I mean, would be for those artists that aren't seasoned, right? Because you can't knock someone if they aren't seasoned. Yeah, you may have the it quality, the it factor, right? And then there's some people that just needs to be built. They need, need to build character. You know what I mean? You can't knock someone for how they, how they were born or brought up. You get what I'm saying? Right. However, a feature the feature for me would be, I would love for these, for this music, if you actually have that potential, because if you don't have it, you just don't have it. You can be an awesome writer, and that's fine. Some people just have a hard time digesting that. You know what I mean? Listen, it's okay. You can't sing, or you don't have the quality to make music for it, or you don't. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? There's many other things you can do behind the scenes. So my thing would be for, like, artists that are like, I feel like it's possible for them. Let's try to get a feature that can directly send these things to an actual A&R division that's actually going to pay attention and listen. You know what I mean? Yes. And then take from there. Let's go from there and take them to, if they need artist development, if they're a seasoned artist already, then, we take them and try to get them to the next platform. However, you're going to still have to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's not like you're just going to have a free, a free for all and just think that, okay, but you're still going to have to. And if it's that way, then you understand why it's very important for you to put in the legwork yourself. Because what happens is that, okay, now you owe me a ton of money because I did the legwork, the handwork, the body work, everything for you, as opposed to, you know what I'm saying? So I think those are, like, not bad features that I think, if they were, like, ironed out correctly, I think I think that could work.
I agree. I think there should be a more fair playing ground when it comes to being an artist, especially in the music industry. There's so much talent, it's hard to keep track. It's hard to get even a toe into the industry properly without being, because there's a lot of people that will take advantage of you. I mean, there should be a platform or application or something that can control talent coming in and finessing them, because there's going to be a lot of people who they're good at songwriting or they're good at producing, but they just need some finesse, to kind of get them to be a solidified musician.
Yep, that's what we just don't have anymore. We remember, A&Rs or certain people used to get paid, in these labels just to listen to these. Like, this is what you come in, you clock in at 9 o'clock, and this is what you're doing up until 5 o'clock. You leave. You're listening to music and we don't have that anymore. It's just completely, you know what I'm saying?
It's lost.
It's you know what I mean? So obsolete at this point. So it's just like, that would be nice to actually.
Yeah. How can the people that are listening to this interview find you on social media?
So we made it very, very simple. The website is actually on its way. We're doing some construction to that, for the new rollouts of, stuff, merch, all these different things in music. But at I am B.MORGAN on everything. That's at IAMM as in money, B as in boy, M again as in money, O as in Omar, R as in Ronald, or you know what I'm saying, and G girl, A Apple, and N as in Nancy. So I am B.MORGAN. Y'all can find me on literally everything, Google, wherever.
How does it feel? I was on Spotify looking at your page, and you're almost I think you might have already hit 50,000 listens. How does that feel?
It's good, because I remember when I had none. I remember going on there and I see like 5, even like YouTube and stuff and all that. I remember like seeing like 5 like subscribers, 10 subscribers, and seeing you're human at the end of the day. So you're looking at other artists in your caliber or up and coming, and you can't help to feel like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? What am I not doing? You're discouraged. And, like, come on, it's like, all right. And it's just the work, man. It's just the footwork. You have to put, this grind, this industry knows what you put in, and it's only going to repay you for what you put in. You know what I mean? You have to put in that work. You know what I'm saying? It's like people like to be complacent and sit down and feel like it's all going to happen for them because, you may have good looks, you dress well.
Or you made 3 albums and you're like, but I did all this stuff. But it's like you still got to do the social media part. You still have to do the marketing part. Like, there's so many different aspects, and you have to be on it, and it doesn't stop. I think people think, I did it, I can rest. No, it doesn't stop until you make it. You know what I mean?
You put out a song and you feel like, this song is getting a little traction, so you think that's when you chill. No, that's actually when you kick. You kicking overdrive. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because now you need to top that actual record that you put out, because that's the record that set the tone for you, right? So now you need to figure out the next record that's going to set that tone for you. And but you're right. That's just it right there. We got to keep pushing and keep pushing. It could be exhausting at times. It could be discouraging. You could get depressed at times. You spend a lot of money into this, but if you think that you not investing in yourself or taking these steps for yourself, if you think someone else is going to come along and do that for you, boy, listen, man, you got a rude awakening waiting for you ahead.
It happens for some people, but you have to understand it's so rare. I think people think, this person did it. It happened for this person. Well, that's not you, unfortunately.
That's an eclipse. Exactly. That what's for you? You know what I'm saying? It's not for it's not for me. Like
Exactly. And it can be disheartening when you see someone posting a cover and they get millions of views, and it's like, damn, like, I made an original song, how come I'm not getting the same amount? But it's because you have to be almost obnoxious about your marketing. People have to remember your name. They have to remember what you look like, and the sound is important. You got to have good quality sound, because no one's going to want to listen if it's not good quality.
Branding yourself at its all-time high. That's where people got to look at themselves as a business at the end of the day. It's like, all right, you've passed the steps of, the talents and those sorts. It's like, what is it that you're actually trying to do this for now at this point? You know what I mean? You got to brand yourself. That's how McDonald's is able to do the things that they do. The Burger Kings, the Jay-Z's, the Ushers, or the Chris Browns. Branding goes a long way, because that's where your money starts to come in at. The shows, the collaborations, the features. But
and making sure that you utilize all that's out there. Like, a lot of people are very, oh, I don't want to go on TikTok. But guess what? There's billions of people on TikTok. You need to go on there. You need to put a song as a sound.
I was one of those, and I'll be honest. I was definitely one of those people. Like, I'm still learning how to actually utilize this to my advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have like people in my team, and you know, a few like my little sisters and stuff. And I was told, it's TikTok busy, but yo, you got to pay attention to the way of things. How the way, you know, the wave is flowing with. You know what I'm saying? This is what's happening.
Facts.
And you got to be able.
Facts.
I feel like, as far as for artists, what makes you, like, you know, you got to be well rounded. You got to be able to adapt. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to fit into. You know, you can get up and complain all day. Oh my God, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the mumbo jumbo. I'm tired of the. Okay, you saying you're tired of it? Okay, it's not gonna change it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not gonna do anything. You still got to do what you do. You know what I mean? And you still got to find a way to actually implement that within your craft and make it the best of what you do. Make it you. You know what I mean? But
make it you. Make it
not
you.
everyone thinks that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they're in for a rude awakening then. You know. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Before we go, is there anything
Chelsea,
you would like to say to your fans or our listeners? Any shout outs?
What I would want to say before the shout out to any up and coming artists that's out there, you know, feeling uninspired or discouraged, my best advice to you is keep learning, keep studying your craft, keep growing, keep building. You know, it can never be, you know, you can never know too much. I feel like, you know, you'll die being, you know, you're going to go to your grave being a student of this, you know, of life. And I feel like, you know, you should harvest that and take it as, you know, I kind of like let go of the pride thing and just harvest that and accept it, especially if you have good people in your corner that are probably like mentors and stuff. Accept it and take it, eat it all up and run with it, because these people have probably been here 20 years over you, and you want that. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to understand that, so you don't make the mistakes that those people made if they're trying to teach you that. But other than that, shout out to my team, Troublemaker, Silver Lining Production. Shout out to my producer, Banger. Shout out to you, Chelsea, for having me here today.
Thank you.
And, you know, just shout out to, you know, everyone trying to make a difference and trying to push the agenda, you know, and trying to give, you know, go forward. That's definitely.
I hear that.
Right there. It's
Thank you. Oh, awesome. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope that we can have you back in the future, and by then I hope to hear your music up in the club where we can go again, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's funny, I have a couple of those I'm waiting on the release, but it's like, when are we getting into the club?
I know. I'm fiending, and you don't even know. I'm just trying to dance, like. But yes, keep doing what you're doing. I commend you. I wish you all the luck, and you are doing awesome. And stay happy, healthy, and safe.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you. This interview is sponsored by Sounds.com. Create your own record label in a matter of minutes. That's SNOUNDS.com. And we'll see you next time. Bye.